This free-to-play stuff is nice, but next year I'm looking forward to Hell Hades' $100,000 challenge. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are in the Hell Hades free-to-play, or however he says it. We are here doing the free-to-play stuff. This is kind of my day one post-op of how we have done this. We have literally just hit reset. I have been running this account for about 28 to 30 hours, and I kind of figured I'd share a little bit of where I am. Now, I've actually managed to get my energy down underneath the amount right here. No, we don't need to go in the Great Hall yet. But so I finally managed to get this down here. And to be fair, one of the things I ended up doing is I dove into the event dungeon. So we'll go into that a little bit later. But I'm almost level 30. We just finished a bunch of missions. So I am actually on the second part 2 of 4 of the Arbiter missions, which is amazing. So right now I just need to do 5 runs in Ice Golem's Peak 10 times on auto. So 5 or higher, so I can clear any stage I want to. We'll go and take a look at which stages we're on in a minute. But we have done fairly well. As far as champions are concerned, I started with Kale. And in fact, if you look, you can actually see that my Kale at the moment is wearing... In fact, I got to put the right boots back on. I had to do that for mission. He has 3-piece pinpoint on. Even though these are 3-star pieces, this is actually a really nice boot set for him because he gets a bunch of extra accuracy and speed for having this, especially it's a 3-piece. Got lucky with this ring. Definitely you won't mind that. The helmet is decent enough, and the fact that it's got some speed on is nice. I certainly wouldn't mind replacing it with a 4-star, but right now we're just kind of doing what we can. We had the Monkey King, and he had a bunch of the lifesteal gear on. My lifesteal gear rolled really crappy. In fact, this is not the original chest piece. This is a different chest piece I grabbed later on because I had flat attack and flat attack on the boots. Meanwhile, I got some speed boots on critical rate, and I actually got a nice shield right here. So my monkey's got some decent crit rate. Not amazing. I need to get him in crit rate gloves. I kind of need to get to Brutal Campaign to farm 5-style crit rate gloves. 4 stars would be acceptable. But I like him in the lifesteal, and I like Kale just doing his thing overall. Maybe I should be putting Kale in the lifesteal. It would certainly make him a little tankier, but at the same time, I've got him significantly faster than I could get him in that lifesteal gear because of the pieces that I have. So overall, that's the build I've been enjoying with him so far. I started with Ugo and Tagore. Ugo, I got really, really good Relentless pieces, actually, so I have her in a bunch of 3-star Relentless gear, which is very effective. So I cannot complain about that too much. Decent speed for a starting account. Tagore is just kind of in Tagore stuff right now. It's whatever gear I happen to have. I don't have a lot of speed gear on this account at all. In fact, I need speed boots desperately. So I am looking forward to grabbing some speed boots for him to speed him up quite a bit. And finally, I got really lucky and pulled a Frozen Banshee, which is amazing for Clan Boss. So that gives me additional poison and poison damage to nuke along with Kale. She has been very, very helpful. I made her a 4-star, going to work on getting her up to 40, and then I'm going to basically hardcore move into getting Kale to 6-star first. Now, I've decided I think Kale is still going to be my 6-star first, even though Monkey is in the lifesteal gear. That is until I get a better set of gloves for the Monkey King, and then I will sort of see which one works well or better than they work at the moment. So we're still kind of struggling through some of the campaign here, showing the campaign. We are in hard, and right around here is where I stopped being able to 3-star every level here with Monkey and Kale. I can certainly use an Ugo, but even then, these always are kind of rough. The Lizard Men are kind of rough, especially because there's so many Dracos here. Draco hits really hard. You got Rosin. There's a lot of legendaries in this faction, in this campaign level. It's kind of weird. So we're just kind of rolling through here. The hollowed halls take a little bit of effort as well. And then once I get to the Brimstone Path, it'll be fine. I'm probably just going to farm through the rest of these. I was really hoping to push to the Sacred Shard, but I couldn't quite make it happen. I'm still going to see if I can have it before the end of this weekend so I can pull that Sacred Shard. We, of course, have kind of fun events here. Now we have the 2x chance for legendaries. Now, there's a 24-hour 2x chance for legendaries that you always have when you start your account. Obviously, I didn't get any shards because I didn't buy any shards. I'm not going to be able to get Mad Hatter on 15 because, again, I'm not going to be able to buy any sacred shards. But if I can pull that sacred shard while this is still a 2x, that is a very, very noble goal. So my goal is to figure out how to get this sacred shard on this account before the end of this 2x event, because I think that will be absolutely amazing. Even if I do miss out on the 10x Losen, on this account, I'm not going to be able to build Losen particularly well anyway, so I will take any interesting legendary. It would be amazing. So one of the things that has been a constant reminder for this is you get so much energy that piles up early. One of the big tips that I can give anybody starting a brand new account is you want to make sure that you are using your energy to get it down below your maximum amount of energy so that you can start recharging. Like, in fact, right there, I just recharged a little bit. So that is very critical. So that means that you do not want to just grab energy lying around. So if I look in here at my weekly things, I've got 2 different energy refills. I have actually several more days before I need to claim these to get this quest. And that's fine. So I'm not going to use these until the last possible moment, particularly because as I continue to level up, I will get more and more and more energy out of these refills. On the other hand, this 200 flat energy, that's not going to change. So I will probably grab that next time I need some energy because that's an easy one to grab without really disrupting anything as well. Obviously, you have to grab your dailies wherever you grab your dailies. So sometimes you're going to be forced to grab them ahead of time, especially for some of these things like these time limited ones as well. So that's if you want to min-max your energy. Obviously, that also involves you being logged in pretty consistently. If you're not going to be logging in consistently, if you hit max, you hit max occasionally. It's going to happen. Don't stress over it too much. So, of course, we have the Alice chase going on. My Savage has not been particularly great. I don't know what that Savage piece is going to be. In fact, let's go check that out. That could be fun. Savage. Accuracy, not the worst thing in the world. Honestly, for Alice, that could be interesting. Not necessarily something I want, but it's got crit rate as well, so that could be pretty good. This piece right here is already rolling fairly well as well. Hopefully it hits crit rate or attack again. And on this early account, this is going to be probably a very late game Savage piece just because we've got a hit of crit rate and a hit of attack percent on a weapon. So that is really good. It's unfortunate that it has resistance there, but if it doesn't roll resistance again, this is going to be a great piece. The helmet, not quite as good. Hopefully it hits speed with this last ascension. We'll certainly see. But we're making some progress with the gear. I said I've actually managed to get a few pieces of pinpoint because I've been able to farm the event dungeon. And I've been able to get a few other pieces of good gear, either through some quests, like some of these things were through some quests. In fact, I haven't seen any of these things. Anything really exciting in here? Ooh, 4-star crit rate. That is actually helpful. That might end up going on Kale because I think that will help him a bunch. And then, Frost, and that's not particularly great, so we'll sell that. So, and again, you don't want to be keeping a lot of flat stat stuff. 5-star and 6-star flat stats are at least somewhat usable, at least early on, because it's better than nothing. And the difference between 30% boost and a 6-star flat is pretty even, especially on a low-level champion. So it's certainly worth considering, especially if it's an important set or it's got the right substats for you. But definitely with the boots, I don't like to compromise if I can, because I really want speed boots, or at least speed on the boots, because speed is just so important in this game. Now, as far as the dungeon's concerned, I have actually managed to make it to stage 11 in the Arcane Keep. Spirit Keep, we are at stage 9. Magic Keep is at stage 9. Pretty much all of these keeps were at stage 9. This one's a little behind, but I have almost entirely a magic team, so that's not super surprising. And even in Void, we're only at stage 7, but I don't have a Void champion, so I haven't really needed to push into that particularly well either. We, of course, got the various dungeons here. Minotaur, I've pushed up to stage 5, but only because I've been asked to run it. We've got Ice Golem. I pushed up to stage 7, which has been pretty easy. I might be able to push up to stage 8 now because I've leveled up a couple champions since then. Spider, we've only gone to stage 4. I have not been pushing Spider very hard. I know my team is not particularly good in Spider just because of the way it's built, and that's fine. I'm just not going to expect to push Spider too much. And honestly, I think I'm more likely to push the event dungeon than Spider, other than for missions, because getting pinpoint accessories is going to be so much better than regular accessories, as long as I can get them. And honestly, the event dungeon is easier for the way this account is built so far. Now for Dragon, stage 9 is about where I'm topping out at the moment. That is pretty much a hard cap, and again, part of it is stage 10 affinity is really killing me. I think once I get Kale to 6 stars, that will certainly help. And Fire Knight, I have done almost no Fire Knight because I haven't needed to. I do need to start pushing up. I've got a quest to do stage 8, so I can certainly see if maybe I can do a little bit of Fire Knight with some pushing. Haven't needed to push any other dungeons at all. But we're making some progress. Heck, even in Faction Wars, I've got a little bit of Dark Elves. I haven't really made any progress anywhere else because I haven't had a lot of other places where I've had other champions of any note. Now, I certainly have a couple of, I've got, level 3 Crimson Helm because I actually used her for a quest. I do have Tagore, so that may help here with this particular faction, but I'm not going to get very far in Faction Wars. And honestly, other than just running as many keys as I can, I'm not pushing Faction Wars early. There's no reason to push it early, but there is a reason to run the keys because you still get stuff that you can eventually craft into perception gear, and you do get some of the glyphs. And those glyphs can be very, very valuable later on in the game. And honestly, even early on, if I decide to use them on some particularly nice pieces of gear. I don't plan on using a lot of them yet because honestly, I need better gear before I start worrying about glyphing the gear. So that is kind of where we're at. We should certainly look at Clan Boss as well. I just ran a Clan Boss key here on normal, and I have gotten a decent amount here. I actually have gotten 197 million on my very first key I ran on normal, which worked very, very well. So Kale here in the lead. I've got the monkey. I have Ugo, who is 5 stars. I've got Frozen Banshee, and then I've got Tagore, and that has been very, very highly functional for me so far. So I'm thrilled with this, and I look forward to once I getting 6-star Kale and hopefully 6-star Monkey fairly soon. That will help quite a bit, particularly because I do know that getting the masteries of War Master adds a ton of damage to Clan Boss. It can add 1 million, 2 million, 3 million damage per champion to Clan Boss, even this early on. It's huge. So I am definitely looking forward to that. Meanwhile, we're just kind of working on progress. So my goal is to hopefully, maybe we'll see if I can record a video for this tomorrow night and drop that on Monday. I am hoping to have a 6-star champion, and I'm almost done pulling shards. The only thing I'm going to do, other than if I can pull the sacred here, is I'm going to save this for you. I'm going to pull an ancient shard here on stream. I need to get a magic champion rare for one of the quests. And until I get that, I'm going to be pulling these ancient shards and mystery shards. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to be saving up my ancient shards for future content. So that is not a magic champion, so I will still be pulling some champions as well. Nothing particularly exciting. It's going to be food. That's pretty much where we're at with 3 stars, unless they are amazing 3 stars that feel like they are worth keeping. But that's kind of the way that you deal with free-to-play early on. It is all about getting your starter up and maxed to 6 stars, getting them mastered, getting them approved. I will say that the challenges that we have here are certainly nice to guide me in a few things. Some of these are still painful. Some of these, find a 4-star or better HP percent is really, really bad. But now you can do it on Brutal at least. So I'm going to get to Brutal before I start really farming on this. Partially because I was trying to do this on hard, but the fact that only 1 in 3 star drops is going to be a 4-star in the first place makes this very hard. Once I can get to Brutal, 2 of the 3 drops are going to be viable for this, which gives me some level of additional comfort that I'm not going to have to farm it forever and ever and ever. And then once that's done, I can equip for this, get 4-star or higher artifact sets. That should be not too hard. 30,000 HP, that's going to happen eventually anyway once I get one of these champions up to 6-star. So it's mostly progressing, but this pass has actually been really nice as well. So we've got this apprentice pass right here. And in fact, you can see here, I upgraded an artifact here. So basically, you can purchase Rectored Wrath, and I believe that is $14.99. Okay, I actually thought it was $9.99, so it's a little more expensive than I expected. But this is where you get your lifesteal gear with the LS Pass. This is 6 5-star pieces of gear. I'm going to get another 6 5-star pieces of gear. Hopefully these are better than the stuff I started out with. Get a bunch of books, a bunch of brews, a bunch of potions right here. This pretty much makes it very easy to get your Kale up to 6 stars with almost no real stress. And in addition to these daily challenges, the apprentice challenges here are open to everyone. And there are things like equip Kale with 6 level 4 artifacts, upgrade Kale to level 30, upgrade to skills 1 time, upgrade Kale to rank 4, level 40, 3 skills, all this stuff that you're going to do when you're building your Kale anyway, and it gives you additional rewards. And it's been nice. This has been one of the better things that Polarium has definitely done. The other thing that they have done that's actually really, really nice is they do have in here this silver pack. You get 7 million silver over 5 days that starts on day one. Pretty much the moment you log in, it's one of the first things you get. It is free. You don't have to spend anything for it. And it definitely makes the early game a lot easier and a lot more forgiving, because silver is still going to be one of the biggest challenges for accounts like this from a free to play. So if anyone's interested in hopping in our clan, we are currently on Dark Deception, which is AF6, run by Big Vito, who, to be fair, I don't know if I've seen Big Vito around or not, but that looks like we're actually full. So that is awesome. So hopefully we should have a nice, fun, active clan here. And if you're still looking for a clan, you can certainly check us out, see if we have any room. And if not, hopefully you can find a good clan. If you're doing the Hell Hades free to play, that is great. I'll drop a link to it down below so you can certainly track my progress. I appreciate you hopping in and checking out my content. I'll be talking about where my account is progressing, some of the things I've been learning, some of the things I have been stressing over. But for the most part, it's a lot of the core mechanics. Speed and speed boots are super important. Making sure you focus on only a few champions, as few as possible. Try to mostly focus on a couple of quick goals that you can achieve pretty easily so you don't get too far away. It's very easy to squirrel out in this game and look all over the place and start running places that you don't need to be running too early. Do definitely check all of your challenges, because the fact that I'm able to get through the first entire level of challenge in less than 30 hours is pretty impressive. So check all that stuff out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys hanging out here. Good luck with the free-to-play challenge. Thank you for cheering me on. And until the next video, I'm Bront CatHerder.